boy. Let go. Good boy. Good boy. Ready? Good boy. Good boy. Oh, you're tired, huh? You ready for some water? You ready for some water? Huh? Hey, y'all, Emery here, and this is just a beautiful day in the North Georgia mountains. The Lord has finally decided to end the rainfall for a short time. We thank Him for that, and it's just gorgeous out here. I'm on the front porch. Ranger and I have been playing a little frisbee, and I think you saw a little bit of that video there. He loves frisbee, so he's worn out. We're about to go in and probably going to give him a bath and all that, but I wanted to do a video on this little guy right here, the Gerber Dime. I did a video on mini multi-tools earlier and mentioned that I did not have a dime to review, and so a friend of mine, Sean, over at Geared Towards Gear, said, hey man, great video, but you need a dime. I'm going to send you a dime. And so he did, man of his word. And so I've been using this for a few days now, and I want to give a review on it. And so stay tuned, and I'll let you know what I think of the Gerber Dime. Hey y'all, back inside now, and I want to go ahead and knock out this review. First of all, like I said, I want to give a big shout out to Sean over at Geared Towards Gear. He watched my mini multi-tool video. If you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. And in that video, I said that I don't have all of the popular mini multi-tools like the Gerber Dime. And so he said, hey man, you need a dime. So he said, I'm going to send you one. And he's a man of his word. There it is. He's went and bought it, sent it to me, and included a little note in there. He says, hey there, Emery, I hope you enjoy the Gerber Dime as an addition to your mini multi-tool collection. Keep the videos coming. Sincerely, Sean, Geared Toward Gear. So I will put a link to his channel down in the description, and I recommend you go check it out. He and I started our channels about the same time, but he has more videos out, he has more subscribers, and he's just generally cooler than I am. So I would go check it out, but thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate that. And he said, look, no strings attached. If you don't like it, say you don't like it and send it on to somebody else. He just wanted me to review it, but that won't be a problem because I do like the Gerber Dime. And so I'll tell you about this here in just a minute. But before I do, I just want to talk about some of the things that have happened since the last video. My wife and I just got back from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. We went to a couples retreat at the Gatlinburg Convention Center. This is the 4th year that she and I have gone to that. It's the 13th year overall for the retreat. It's hosted by Dr. Clarence Sexton, who's the pastor of Temple Baptist Church in Powell, Tennessee. That's also the location of Crown College. That's where I got my master's in ministry in 2015. It's a great college, great church, and they have hosted this for the last 13 years. There were 102 churches represented at this year's conference, and they said it was probably the biggest one they've had, so probably about 1,000 people there. Had a wonderful time, and I highly recommend next year. It's usually about the week after Valentine. If you're in the area and can make it, go check it out. Go to faithforthefamily.com, and there'll be information on there about the couples retreat. So we were there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week. Today is February 25th, 2019. And anytime we're in the area of Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, I try and make it over to what I think of as the greatest store on earth, Smoky Mountain Knife Works. If you don't know about Smoky Mountain Knife Works, go to smkw.com and check them out. It is the world's largest knife store. It's incredible. I love it. We didn't have a lot of time this time, though. We were trying to get out of town because it was raining like crazy, flooding everywhere. And we still had to drive through some mountains and along some rivers and all. And they were closing early because of the flooding, so their employees could get home. So didn't have a lot of time. But while I was there, had a little bit of Valentine's money left to spend, and I knew what I wanted to get when I got there. And so I picked this up. I'll probably be doing a full review on this later. This is the Case Mini Copper Lock. This is one of my all-time favorite traditional patterns. I had one of these before and I gave it to a friend of mine, and I knew that I would get another one eventually because I just love it. It's a great size for everyday carry. Very traditional pattern. That's amber jigged bone on there. Single clip point blade with a mid lock on there. Just an excellent pattern there. So really, I'm glad that I was able to get that. So a lot of things have happened while we were up there. We stopped at the workshop tools, and I bought a caliper to help with my videos here. I haven't used calipers very much, but I'll be using that in the future to get a little more detail. So the Gerber Dime. The timing was perfect on this because we got it just before we went on our trip, and I decided to take it with me and use it while I was on the trip, find anything that I could, and so I did. The first thing I used it for, right before we left, we bought some new windshield wipers, and to take the old wipers off, you have to press this little tab up in there to disconnect the wiper from the part that holds it on to the, attaches it to the van there. And I have severe carpal tunnel syndrome. And so sometimes it's hard for me to manipulate a tiny little tab like that. So I said, I know what I'll do. I went and I grabbed my Gerber Dime, and of course, I'm sure you're familiar with the tools that the Dime has, but if not, we'll go through those as we talk about this. But it has pliers, and a nice little set of pliers there for a mini-sized multi-tool. So I grabbed the pliers. I was able to reach up in there, squeeze that little tab, and pop it out. And then when I was putting the new wipers on, you have to kind of press down hard on there, so I was able to turn the pliers around and press down in there to attach it. So that worked well. That was the first thing I used it for. These pliers are kind of like Leatherman. They are needle nose as well as regular, and they do have a little wire cutter in there. They're spring loaded though, and they feel very durable. The next thing I used it for is when we got to our hotel room. It was a nice hotel, but it's one of these new kind of trendy hotels where they don't give you a dresser with drawers. For some reason, they think that's cool. I don't know. All you have are these big open slots where you put your clothes in there. But anyway, one of the other things that was strange is that the bathroom and the closet were next to each other, and there was one sliding barn type door that you either slid over the opening of the closet to open the bathroom, or slid over the bathroom to open the closet. It was kind of strange. But the way that it locked in the bathroom, there was a little slot cut into the door and a little triangular tab that would slide into that slot. But the way they had put it together, the bar at the top where this door was hanging from was not moved over far enough, and you couldn't move the door far enough for it to meet up with that little tab to go in the slot. But it was attached to the door frame with two Phillips head screws, and so I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll just back those screws out enough so that I can move that slot out a little bit more and make it work. So I grabbed my Gerber Dime and opened the Phillips driver. There it is. It has a file on both sides. It's cross-cut on this side, and then your little Phillips driver right there, and it worked perfectly for backing out those little Phillips head screws. So that worked great. Then when we got home, my wife had ordered some makeup, and it came in, and each tube of makeup, or each little container or bottle, was wrapped in this very tight clear plastic wrapping. And she asked me to get that off of there. Well, I didn't want to use a blade because I was afraid I might puncture the tube itself. And so I thought, I know what I'll use. Also on this Gerber Dime is this package opening tool. So if you have a blister pack, something like that, and you know how hard it is to cut those things open without cutting whatever's inside there, that's what this tool is for. And because it's blunt on the top, I was able to slide it down in between that tight clear plastic and the tube of makeup and cut that enough to get it open. So that was the third thing that I used it for. Now that's all I've used it for so far, but so far everything I've done with it has been great. The blade itself, and kind of a modified sheep's foot blade, and it is hollow ground, and you can see the edge there, the relief edge as well. Decent thickness on there for being a small multi-tool. and it's on the bottom here so that you can get all the way down into material. It does have some belly on there, so I can imagine it'd be a good cutter. I haven't used it to cut anything yet, but I imagine that it's going to do very well. Has a number on here which I'm assuming is a serial number, 4660818D1. Of course, there is such a thing as D2 tool steel, but I don't think this is a designation of the steel or anything. So that's the blade on there. Then on the other side, the outside, of course, you have scissors. These are small little scissors, but they do a great job. I think I did use these to cut some paper. They did a great job with that. They are spring loaded, of course. And so then you also have a pair of tweezers right there. And as you can see, these kind of open up a little wider than your standard Victorinox tweezers, and they are cut at an angle, so you have a good precision edge there that you can use to get into things, and they just tuck away into a little cutout slot on the side of the tool. Of course, the other thing that the Gerber is known for is this integrated bottle opener. Now, like I said before, I don't drink anything that comes in bottles. I don't drink any alcohol of any kind, but every now and then I do like to have a cheerwine, and that's a cherry soft drink. It's a southern thing, so if you've never heard of it, it's from the South, but it's just a cherry flavored soft drink. And a lot of times if you get them at a restaurant, you can get them in the bottle. And so while we were eating out, while we were on vacation, I tried to find somewhere that had a cheerwine in a bottle that I could use this on to open, but nobody had one, so I haven't been able to use this yet, but it's very sturdy. I can imagine it would work well, but I think you could also use it as kind of a pry tool as well. There's one other tool on here I haven't mentioned, and that is the flat head, or the slotted driver right there, and you can see that it is beveled right there at the top. It's a good width there, so that'll handle a lot of flathead screws. And so that's the tool. This is the, I think it's called black and red, though honestly this is more of a crimson color, and this is more, I don't know, almost a dark gray like. Being an Auburn fan, you know, black and red is okay. I can say go Dogs other than the 10th week of the season when Auburn plays Georgia, but I never carry anything crimson. I think you understand that. So we'll not call that crimson, we'll call that red, all right? But I really like the colors of it, and it's got a good weight to it. You know, being a mini multi-tool, you might think, well, I don't want it to have any weight. But one that's this size, you want it to have a little bit of heft, so that you know it's a quality product. And so far I've been very impressed with it. It's done a great job. I am now carrying it on my keys. This is part of my key ring setup. This is my little Browning Microblast flashlight. That's just a cheap little plastic compass, but it works. And just on a simple little carabiner. And I just clip it using the bottle opener there. It does have a key ring attachment as well, and that goes on my key clip behind my keys, so I've always got a little backup EDC kit there. So anyway, that's it for the review of the Gerber Dime. I like it. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to continue to use it and see how it holds up compared to other mini multi-tools. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, thanks a lot, Sean. I'm going to try and return the favor sometime. But go and check his video out, his YouTube channel out as well, geared toward gear, and I'll have more videos coming soon. So until then, God bless and War Eagle.